It's Thursday, February 15th, 2024. I couldn't bring myself to say anything about yesterday's program of The View. Because I found it a little I don't know. I couldn't quite articulate, I guess, what my response to it was, because they started the show yesterday by talking about Tom Suozzi winning the seat that was vacated by George Santos in Long Island. Um, and they kept talking about how this is the playbook for for other Republicans in swing districts. And I just thought, there's a lot more going on here than just one political campaign strategy. He was the representative before. Like, he's a known quantity to them. Um, the Republicans handed the whole immigration debate to the Democrats. It's so fresh in voters' minds when the Republicans just said, here, to a bipartisan immigration bill, said no thanks, and are still for some reason saying Joe Biden is weak on the border. He hasn't done anything about the border. The Democrats don't care about open borders. It's like people can see through that lie really, really blatantly now. So, and it's fresh on people's minds. The challenger is a woman who serves in the Israeli army, and she has a very thick accent. Is clearly not. I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but she's clearly not a born and raised American. I So to have her talk about immigration, I thought was just kind of hilarious. How tough she wanted to be on immigration. It's like, I'm pretty sure you're an immigrant. Um, and uh, and she was very pro-life. So people are still pissed. Nobody's going to vote for you unless you are going to federally legalize abortion. But that is, I think, a non-starter for a lot of voters this season, which shouldn't be underestimated. Um, and the voters in this district were embarrassed that Santos was their congressperson. They didn't want to get that wrong again. They didn't want that embarrassment, and they know that the Republican Party is leading to a lot of embarrassment. So I think there's a lot of factors that went on. It's not just and not just one thing or the other. And for the Speaker of the House to say, "Well, he ran." Running as a Republican, he was talking about immigration and economy. Those are Republican talking points, and it's like, well, no, they're not. They are issues facing the country that have always been discussed in races. Um, and you, Speaker, just made a mockery of them by not bringing up the bill, the bipartisan border bill that also supplied aid to Ukraine and Israel. And now that there is a separate bill for Ukraine and foreign aid, you won't bring that up because it doesn't deal with the border. But you had a bill that had dealt with the border, and you wouldn't bring it up. So for a vote, so it's like that isn't going unnoticed. Thankfully, that is sort of fresh in people's minds. And Sarah Haynes today said in a very awkward way that needs to be hammered home all year. And as an example of how Republicans don't want to actually govern or solve problems. God, my eyes are red and itchy. I got moisturizer in my eyes this morning. And then today's and yesterday, this was funny though, when Joy had a loss for words and basically referred to Whoopi's pot use as an opioid. Marijuana is not an opioid, Joy. She is starting to get some cranky old lady vibes, but that's okay. Today they opened, which I thought was a very weird choice, with Tucker Carlson's interview of Putin, and I don't know why they want to give this any air at all, other than to embarrass Tucker Carlson. because that's all Putin wanted to do. Um, it was he was used as a tool, as a shill. Like it was, and then of course he's going to complain about it and say, um, he wanted somebody who he could control and manipulate and then abuse, and that's Tucker Carlson. Um, I did think it was really funny. He made Tucker Carlson wait for 2 hours. So he's just sitting in a chair, like reading his phone. And Alyssa makes a really good point that he, uh, everything in his phone is now owned by the Russians. Like you're an idiot. Um, and Tucker Carlson is just an opportunistic piece of shit. Like there is no journalistic integrity. There's nothing in it for him other than notoriety and wealth. He likes to stir the pot and cash his checks. He's a dick. Um, so other than to embarrass him, I don't know why anybody wants to talk about that. Um, and it was interesting today. They sidestepped the whole J Lo SNL controversy, which was interesting because J Lo put out a statement saying, AO came and she was in tears and she was apologizing, blah blah. Blah. It's like um, I'm not sure that that's necessary for you to say, except that maybe you're thinking that that would assuage your fans to not be mad at her. I don't know if J Lo fans are like Swifties. I can't imagine people are, but people are really mean online. So I think, I guess, anytime someone comes to someone else's defense, I guess that's um, in it, when defense is warranted. Um, that's appropriate. Uh, but J Lo came out and at some point in the middle of it said she had stuff for everybody. And Whoopi was like, "Not you, audience. It's just for us." And she was like, "No, no, no. I have stuff for everybody." And then she never gave anybody anything. Or did I miss it? I don't know. That whole thing was weird. I don't know that. Uh, I have a feeling J Lo would be fun to go for a drink with, but I don't. And she's a really good um, uh, marketer and kind of business person. She knows how to make herself money, and a lot of it is just using her image, because she's not a very talented singer, uh, but she's a good dancer, and she's incredibly athletic. Uh, but I don't know. It, I don't know. Oh, yay, J Lo, good for you. I don't know. That's not really that much of interest to me. Um, yeah. So today's Thursday. Oh right, yesterday was Valentine's Day. That was the other thing. Whoopi and I agree on a lot, and um, in terms of the relationships, there's just you choose for you. That's that's and choose how you want to celebrate or not celebrate. I think that you shouldn't need a day designated to tell people that you love them or that you appreciate them. Like if you can't do that on a sort of an ad hoc basis throughout the year, um, then you probably don't deserve the relationships you're in because they it you have to demonstrate mutual appreciation and respect. Uh, and there's lots of ways to do that. And it doesn't require going out for an overpriced meal on a particular day of the year. Um, but that's just me. I like Valentine's Day to me is like amateur night. It's people that don't usually go out because they're making something special. They spend too much money on crowded places that makes them not want to go out again. It's the same thing with New Year's Eve. It's like it's just those are just dumb nights to go out. Um, St. Patrick's Day, however, that's a good one. Uh, anyway, yeah, the Irish just want you to have fun. Um, and that you know what? That's all girls want. They just want to have fun.